How do you make a game endless? Well, first off, you make the opening level so incredibly hard that you can never advance past it, thus playing the game forever. Enter in Dungeon of the Endless. Like I said, I played the first level for literally hours. I never got past it, but that just simply scratches the surface of my issues with this game. So today, let's break down Dungeon of the Endless for the Nintendo Switch. Now, when the game first starts out, we are met with what is the best positive the game has going for it. The soundtrack. It has this retro wave vibe that I'm always a sucker for. It has this haunting pull that makes you want to play the game even more. I mean, just listen to the opening theme here. Oh yes, quality. However, the quality soundtrack comes to an end as soon as the levels start because they go for more of the minimalist feel. And I've got nothing against the minimalist feel in games. It can add for that sense of isolation, that sense of suspense, but when you never get past the first level, that minimalist feel just becomes annoying very, very quickly. Now, you start the game choosing your crash pod and characters on the trash pod. You start the game choosing your crash pod and characters on the crash pod. Where are we crashing from or where are we crashing to? The game doesn't explain, so we have no clue. The characters all have different stats and most make complete sense. Like the heart is for health, the dash man is for speed, fist is for attack, but the human head? Well, you would think it was intelligence, but considering the pug has a higher stat on it than the human bounty hunter, now I have no idea. Once you select your two characters, you're thrown into your first dungeon, and almost nothing is explained. What do these resources do? What even is this resource? Which one should I build within the build meter since I don't know what any of them do? What does this meter here do? What does this dagger do? Seemingly nothing when I use it. The game had a tutorial, but if you didn't follow it exactly, it skipped you straight through it and you never had a chance to go back to it. So therefore, you have all these items and you have no idea what any of them do or how to figure it out. A game with this much depth needs a mandatory tutorial to get you started, and also just simply explain what the buttons on the controller do. I bet I played for at least 30 minutes before I realized the up button on the D-pad healed me. But let's talk about how the game itself is played. I was expecting a traditional dungeon crawler, because I don't know, the word dungeon being in the title and all sort of gave me that impression. But what you actually get is more of a strategy and resource management game. You don't get to manually move your character, you just simply select which room you want to go to, and when you're in that said room you will encounter monsters which the game will automatically attack for you. And thank the Lord they do that, because nothing ruins a game like being able to attack monsters on your own. This is one of the most boring combats I've ever played in a game. You can't choose which monster to attack, you can't dodge attacks, you can't take charge of any aspect of the attack. You just have to sit back and watch the game do it all for you. Why they ever thought this would be a fun option, I'm not really sure. But once you clear a room out, you can then send power to that room from your base crystal. When a room is lit up with power, your constructed orbs will help to supply you with more resources. The resources are used for health, research for upgrades, and more building projects. The goal of the floor is to find the exit and then transfer the base crystal to that exit. Now this sounds as simple as possible. However, I assure you it is quite the opposite in every single way, because once you pick that crystal up to move it, you are literally swarmed with enemies. I never once in all the hours of playing this game made it to the second floor because of this. Now this is not the only way for you to have a game over either. If you don't defend your crystal well enough early in the level, you will also almost certainly die. I got so sick of reading, your crystal is being attacked, your crystal is being attacked, your crystal is being attacked, and then rushing to get back there only to see it explode right in front of my face every single time. I got so sick of it that eventually I just left a full-time soldier there to defend it until I was ready to move on. This plan also didn't work out because you really need both characters exploring the level or both characters defending the crystal when it's being attacked to be successful. There are plenty of upgrades to get and use along the way. However, seeing as it's so hard to just get past level 1, many of those upgrades I never even got to experience. Now I will admit that the game has a very unique concept, but it's just so poorly executed that until you play at least an hour, you have no clue of even really how to play the game. A mandatory tutorial at the beginning would have been so beneficial and would have probably pulled so many more players in to last long term within the game. Another positive of the game outside its unique concept is the art direction. It was very well done. I like the retro feel of it, and I also think the characters have some pretty good animations along with that. I mean, just look at this fella. I want to play a whole game of that. Overall, Dungeon of the Endless was not the dungeon crawler I expected. It was extremely difficult, it was cryptic, and it was an overall annoying experience. I feel that this game had a lot of potential, and if it had been executed better, it would have been considerably more fun. However, until that day, this game will be placed back on the shelf endlessly. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and as always, go out there, find a great game to play, and just simply have a great rest of the day.